Hello, I'm Steve. A little about myself. I'm a retired law enforcement officer with 20 years of service. I began my career in the jail, worked the road, and became an investigator. During my career, my training consisted of everything from SWAT to becoming a state certified crime scene technician. I've investigated crimes from thefts to homicides. After retiring and becoming aware of true crime and web sleuths, I started my channel for web sleuths to better understand the perspectives of law enforcement. Not only do we cover true crime, I go out into the field and assist families who have lost loved ones to homicide and their cases are considered cold. Join me as we look and bring attention to these critical cases.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad you're able to join us tonight. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And while you're in chat, if you have any questions about what we're covering tonight, absolutely throw a question in there, and I'll try to get to all of those as I can. Been looking forward not only to this show, which is our investigative side of what this channel does as far as going out working cold cases. And in addition to that, we were funded by a very special person in our lives that supports our foundation to go out and do an environmental DNA study. And we'll be covering that in this presentation, speaking a little bit about that and some of the equipment that we've purchased and the things that will be going across the United States trying to have a proof of concept that if this concept about developing the eDNA study to the point that we can determine that there's human DNA in these remote canyons and areas that we have missing hikers, missing persons, and even dump sites from some of these offenders that go out and to these isolated areas and, so that we can locate them and help bring some closure to these families. But there's a lot of things going on right now, and I appreciate it. And that's what we're covering tonight. And for if you're new to the channel, and of course, we have more than just what I cover as far as the when I recreate with the CSI stuff, as far as certain evidence and procedures of law enforcement, going out there and processing crime scenes. Did a lot of stuff on with Kohlberger case, Delphi, and Murdoch out of the Carolinas. Did a lot of work on his, and but that's, like I said, there's more to it than just what we, as far as the public side. On the investigative side, behind the scenes, that's through the foundation, and that's through this. That if you go to truecrimeweb.com, there's a link there in the page to our foundation, which is a nonprofit, and it's through the support of it and through those people, and specifically for this one study, is there's a individual, huge impact with extremely intelligent, and we appreciate their support and look forward to working with them for many, many years, for the fact that there's so much when we look at people. And when I first got into law enforcement, I went out to assist people, and I've had a good career. But through that career, most of the times I dealt with good people in the worst of times. And after my career came out, and then of course I discovered the true crime world out here on YouTube, and it really built my faith in society, and for there's so many people that care and support this channel and allow us to go out and do the things just from your views, your donations, everything that you do for this channel. Absolutely amazing. And then I was contacted through my YouTube channel by an individual that said, why don't you create a foundation? And I did so. Extremely wise person. And so I created that foundation, and it's grown since then. And we are moving forward, not only working cold cases, but also have the ability to go out and try to develop some new technologies to assist the missing and victims of homicides. But like I said, this is through the True Crime Web Foundation part. And back in March, I went out on the road and, last year we went 19,000 miles working cold cases. I had several, I think, 4 families I was working cold cases on last year. Have more than that this year. Have those plus additional ones that have come in. But this year, I've already traveled 6,300 miles in 1 month, and we have the potential probably put somewhere between 8 and 10,000. I don't know, but we're going to find what I'm going to do in the next 2 to 3 weeks. On the road, I've been speaking to investigators all the way from the Midwest to California. Even some of the cold case investigators out in California I've spoken to. And also I've been contacted even by some of y'all may know him from the he's out of the Carolinas, Mashburn. He was a private investigator that runs canines, extremely intelligent fellow. And we spoke a couple of times, and I like him, and he runs canine cadaver dogs, and hopefully we'll be able to collaborate and use our resources together and see if we can't have an impact with those families also. But anyway, I most certainly appreciate it. Before we get too far into this, we want to see what's going on in chat, see who's here. Diddums, what's in the box? I've got all kinds of stuff here. You won't believe, I checked some of the weather and some of the remote areas that we're going to be going. Forecast is there's going to be some days, upper 80s, and then we have some areas that's in the upper 30s as far as lows, and which is, whenever you're dealing with some of those remote high altitude areas, I've got all different types of clothing from, I'm a Georgia boy. You start getting the 30s, it's winter. And I'm going to try to experience winter in June, I guess. Christmas in June. But checking the weather reports, I found it, kind of interesting and surprising for the fact until you go out there and you're on the road and you're driving all these miles, you really, only pay attention to local weather. That won't be the case as I travel across, because I always have to be aware of the areas I'm traveling, states I'm going through, what type of weather front that's coming through, because I don't want to be part of a problem for first responders out there that they're having to take care of me when they're having to take care of their own locals. So I'll be winding and weaving across the United States in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But all right, BGOG's in the house, Southern Gal. Good to see you. Anna's here. Sensei. Let me see if I can get my little scroll bar to start working. But I just wanted to tell y'all that I'm about to, probably in the next 8 hours after this show, I'm going to try to go and won't have my evening, too much of my evening coffee. See if I can't get a few hours of sleep before I leave out early. I've got to go down to Florida for a couple of reasons. I've got to pick up some supplies and equipment from the university on certain environmental DNA supplies that goes through their lab, that they're my resource of the specialty equipment that they use. So I'll have to be picking it up from them. And then also, and I have a link in here that if you go over here to True Crime Web, you'll see a link. That link is to an artist that's in Florida that did something special regarding the Evansdale double homicides of Lyric and Elizabeth. And if you get 4 or 5 minutes, it's a short video. Go watch that video. It is absolutely amazing how gifted this artist is, and his ability to not only create and the likeness of Elizabeth and Lyric, but also even in the production of that video. Absolutely amazing work. So I'm going to pick that up. The reason I mention this, and for you to watch it, that as I go across the Midwest, I'm going to go ahead and drop off, save them the shipping money, because I've got to go up there and take care of some business up in that part of the country anyway. And so if it's on the way, I try to make best uses of all my resources. And as my community wants me to be as helpful as possible, and my Mrs. Steve does also, that if I can do multitasking, that's what we do, guys. But hello, Jill. Good to see you. Nana 73. Sensei says Waffle House should be official sponsors. Yes, I have a Waffle House coffee back here. So yes, they are. They gave me a mug one time. Oh, me. Mitzi Scott's in the house. CJK, Nana. Marion Tate, good to see you. Karen Boardman. Josh the Posh. Junior Johnson. Don't know if Junior's in Michigan or Kentucky right now. Red Queen. The Red Queen says, what's in Mr. Steve's suitcase? Bubble wrap to protect the national treasure. Yeah, but one of the things that, let me back out of this. One of the things that is in the box is this medical grade hand sanitizer grade ethanol. It's 190 proof. So there's a lot of things that you can do with 190 proof, from use it for fuel or medicinal purposes. I guess my grandmother would have used it for medicinal purposes. But that's one of the things that's in the box. But that's some of the stuff that we are having to use, because when we go out and collect this environmental DNA, and with that being spoken about, that of course I'm going to be doing the Suitcase stuff, and but also the eDNA study is, we're going to go out and we're going to collect from the water and soil and DNA that has accumulated in these surroundings from various sources, from the human body, fluids, skin, hair. That happens whenever we have a victim that is exposed to the element, or even in a clandestine grave, that we have the possibility, and that's what we're trying to determine, that how is DNA move through an environment in these cases. And if we can get it, whereas we can detect within a watershed a quarter of a mile, a half a mile, or a mile downstream, that there's a human presence upstream, and in these remote areas, it can have a huge impact in searching and narrowing the scope, because whenever some of these remote areas, you're looking at multiple canyons, valleys, and if we can narrow the scope of the search down to just one valley or one canyon, that's going to play a huge part. And that's what we want to try to do, to have an impact with these search and rescue teams. Copper Horse, good to see you, as always. Wallflower, Sharon Edwards, Stacy. Hello, Molly. There's Karen. But as I go through the stuff, I'll set it over there. But I've got about everything you can imagine. Some of these areas that we're going to, like I said, are extremely remote. I'm taking equipment such as shovel, emergency equipment. Even there may be some of these areas where I won't have access for, unless I do extended drives to motels and hotels and for to spend overnight, that I may be roughing it in the vehicle overnight in some of these areas. So I'm carrying everything to make my comforts in my vehicle where I can still have some coffee, and also not only coffee, but be able to cook me something. So I'll have my propane stove and have some canned goods and things of that nature that's going with us. As you can see here, I'm going to have plenty of water, snacks, food. I'll have my CSI kit, some clothing, boots, and I have the shovel also that's going on this mission. Hopefully, I don't have to use the shovel, but I'll have one with me just in case. A lot of planning, a lot of logistics, and some of the equipment that we're carrying that if we do recover, or we're going to recover soil samples, but the handling of them required very specific types of equipment, sterile, everything that you can imagine. We even have deionized water. That is a tongue twister that is hard to say. I don't know if that's healthy for you or not, but it is part of what we're going to have to use for some of the testing is this deionized water. I don't know if any of y'all has ever worked with it, but they use it in labs and things. And of course, like I said, I got my emergency kit. I've got all kinds of stuff to get me out of if I get stuck. And hopefully I won't get stuck, but there's always that possibility, guys. All right, so that's some of the stuff that we got there. And let me see else what's going on in chat. Appreciate y'all being here. And like I said, we've been packing and been planning this trip and getting everything ready, because even after we collect the soil samples, that's only half of the victory. I've got to pack it in certain procedures and protocols, ship it overnight to the university so that they can get to it within a certain time period to give our proof of concept the best chance at success. And got everything from these little old boxes, flats that turn into these, to insulated shipping cartons. And but like I said, that's just all part of the planning, guys, that you can't rely upon anything when you're on the road and you have everything at hand. It makes your job and your life so much easier that you have every step of the process in some type of organized set of protocols, procedures that you wish to follow, or otherwise you'll just get lost and and you start making mistakes. And we can't allow mistakes to be made in this process. It's just like working a crime scene. That through training and following those protocols guarantees that you make the best use of your time while you're working a crime scene, and that you get that best evidence to the proper personnel for it to be tested and have those results back as quick as possible. And if you're wandering around and looking for certain things, we've been looking at this and preparing everything for several months, and finally everything fell in line, and we're about to move out. Hello, Farmer. Good to see you. Let's see here. Yes, Wallflowers. Good to meet. It's nice to see Southern Gal. Absolutely. Let's see. But just check and see if there's any questions, anything going on. Karen has been a member for 16 months. Love the way you help these families. Yes, as I start off my trip in the Midwest, I've got to go back and meet with 2 or 3 of the families. And even on my return trip, I've got some families lined up that I'll be meeting on the way back as I come back across the United States from California. Molly's went out and figured up 19,000 miles is 3,500 to 4,000 just in gasoline. There's nothing cheap about traveling, and it's not like I can fly all this equipment. I do have to drive it because there's a lot of equipment and a lot of containers, and as you try to have all this stuff prepared. Let's see what we got here. I got everything to work in the field with, from these sterile, individually wrapped tongue depressors for us to use, to these tips that we're going to use for our pipette. I got some of these, as sterile as you can get, personal towels that are to be used. Of course, we don't want to contaminate anything. This is the face mask that we'll be wearing. And then some of the other things that we're going to be carrying: syringes. These syringes have a very specific purpose. Some of the protocols that we're going to be using as far as measuring and putting in certain reagents for the processing, the preservatives of the, because when we first go out and try to understand what is the best way to collect environmental DNA with soil, it's all novel stuff. And so we're going to be creating certain protocols that hopefully will be used for many, many years if everything goes well. I even got surgical gloves, and they're sterile. They're individually packaged, and that's just some of the stuff that we have. Then of course, like I said, I got the food, I've got the clothing, we've got everything that you can imagine packed and ready to go. Oh yeah. Make sure I did the blue. I can't remember if I did that or not, Karen, but thank you for everything you've done for your support. It means a lot to us. Suzanne? Sensei Wackadoo gifted 1 True Crime Web membership. Thank you for your support. It means a lot to us, guys, because like I said, without all of our support, we wouldn't be able to do this stuff. And y'all are extremely kind. Even had to our PayPal just came in. Let me see. Yeah, we just had a PayPal, and we appreciate that. Thank you, Lori. Let me see if I can get this thing working again. Anna says that David Mashburn is said to have some of the best cadaver dogs in the nation. Actually, we were speaking today, and he has a brand new dog that is in training right now. And we were discussing possibly, like I said, as a resource in our future cases and things. He is a private investigator. I think, I know he's in the Carolinas. I don't remember if it's North or South Carolina, but he's out of Carolinas. And he went and studied forensics and got a degree in forensics to assist his career and his investigation and help him work on these cold cases and things. And my hat's off to him. If you ever have the chance or the opportunity to speak with him, do so. Man is extremely intelligent, extremely dedicated, and wants to go out and have an impact with these families. And hopefully we can get together. I'm looking forward to it if everything comes to pass. Thank you, Copper Horse. Yes, this special video, like I said, it is for the Lyric and Elizabeth painting done by this artist, and it will break your heart. But the man is extremely talented, gifted, and he's donated those pieces of art to be taken up and be used as a memorial of Lyric and Elizabeth up in Iowa. And like I said, I've got to go up there to do some cold case work. And while I'm going to be in Florida anyway, picking up equipment, I'll pick that up and transport it up there so that their foundation, which if Elizabeth Collins Foundation, if you wish to support them, absolutely do so, because they do more to help other families, and it's absolutely amazing everything that Drew does to help others. He's lived it and had to walk that tragic walk that you know most people will never have to. Thank God that they don't have to walk and go through the places that they've had to go through. And but he does assist other families, such as even Larry Crum, their best friends. And Larry Crum, of course, if you look up Amber Crum, is another case that cold case I had worked over the years. Mitzi Scott, $5. Thank you. Super sticker. Appreciate your support. True Crime Web. I hope you've got tire chains in your suitcase. I don't have tire chains. But I'm, like I said, I'm going to be well aware of the situation. Actually, one of my supporters has offered access to one of their off-road vehicles. Regarding some of the cases, I wish I could share some of the cases that we're going to be doing for the eDNA, but the service contract with the university, and there's certain ethical standards. And as we work with these agencies and families that, and the university itself, they just do not want to get involved in some of those issues that may arise. So we're going to not be able to share a lot of that. I can, of course, the only thing we will be able to share is that we've had some great progress made, or it wasn't as productive as we wished. But hopefully we're going to get some answers regardless. Gay aims awesome to include search dogs. Absolutely. Because like I said, whenever we work with these families, there's a lot of things that I have access to and resources, but my skill set is limited of what I can do in the CSI world. And when there's other people such as profilers, while I may have had limited training in certain aspects of profiling, it's not on the level of what these experts are. And it's the same. Well, I've been on manhunts and everything, and land navigation and everything you can imagine. I'm not a canine guy. I've watched those animals perform and act and do their task, and watch those handlers. They're experts, they're professionals, and that's exactly what they are. They're experts in their fields, and they're on a totally different level. I look at a dog, and I'm hunting for some type of treat to give it, whereas those handlers, they know how to work them and what they know how to read that dog. Whereas me, I just think that he's thirsty or something. But yes, including search dogs would be a huge resource as we need it for certain cases. Michelle C., good to see you. Barbara Hall, good to see you. I'll be speaking with her. I'm going to stop in as I travel through and speak with Barbara. And if you don't know who Barbara Hall is, she is the mother of Timmy Dees. She's been fighting for justice for quite a while. And I've done some work for quite a few months, but only recently have we released that information. But she is absolutely inspiration. Josh DePage has been a member for 19 months. Happy Webiversary to me. 19 months. Thank you. Appreciate your support. Mustang 65. Good to see you. Yeah, we don't. Molly says that farmer, he's going out west into high elevations. Never forget the Donner Party. They named the pass on 80 of them after them for a reason. Yes, we do not need a Steve pass. We do not need a Mr. Steve pass at all. So we don't want any of that. Farmer, Mr. Steve, got this format down. Adapt, tactical to practical. Thank you, Josh Saposh, has gifted 5 True Crime Web memberships. Appreciate your support. Absolutely means a lot to us. Like I said, we couldn't do it without you guys. And I've got a lot of, I'm going to be going by a lot of Waffle Houses. I don't even know what's, last time I was in California, I picked up a prisoner, and that's been a long time ago. I don't even know what they have out there now. And, but I don't know if I can afford it. If they had a Waffle House, I don't know if you could afford it out there right now. Seriously, Molly says, seriously, you should call the marketing department at Waffle House. We probably say Waffle House more than any other channel out there, other than if there's a Waffle House Fight Club or something. Hello, Peggy. Good to see you. Miranda Lee, good to see you. Anna Lizette said, Donner Party stayed at high elevation. They got 23 feet of snow in November. Well, I'm not going to be in there in November. Hello, Salty Sleuth. Good to see you. Mustang 65 with the absolutely great inclusion of justice for Abby and Libby. Absolutely. Thank you for that reminder. Hugh says, are you picking up Ruckus or any other dead weight in Florida? No, I'm not going to be picking him up in Florida, but there is a possibility that he may join me later on into the when we get out to California. We're working on some cases out in California. He has some contacts out there, and so we're going to make best use of it out in California. I spoke to some cold case investigators out there, and so we're going to have a meeting, and hopefully we'll be able to have an impact in the future on something out there. Hannah says 190 proof is good for snake bites. Drink as needed. Yeah. Wise words from Farmer. As long as you're not hiding the alcohol in the VCR, you don't have a problem. Yes, that's pretty deep thinking there. Only someone that has experience finding hidden alcohol in a VCR. I mean, how would you? It'd have to be a small bottle for that, unless it's just a fake VCR and you remove the whole outer shell. Witchcraft, good to see you. Witchcraft was given 5-gallon buckets with a pool noodle potty. CJK, you don't know how correct you are. Every one of those items, other than skunk spray, I've got bear spray, fly spray, I've got sunscreen, but I do have the bear spray, and don't have the taser, but I've got other options. And know someone that can get you a genuine troll shovel. I have a good shovel right here. Mustang 65, $5 super sticker. Thank you for your support. Appreciate it. Steve, where's the special stuff for Ruckus? Feather pillow, down sleeping bag. Um, um, I, uh, I'm telling you, he needs none of that. He'll be looking out the window, or you think that as you're going down the highway, you'll see him turn to look out the passenger side window, and 15, 20 seconds, you hear snoring. He gets hypnotized by um, anything guardrails, I guess, and he just falls asleep from hypnosis with the guardrails. Misty Free Spirit, good to see you. Miss Cyrene says, "Are these trips to help solve the missing? Your favorite thing about your channel?" Yes. Part of this trip is the first part of it. Probably the first 4 days, 5 days, are totally dedicated to our cold cases. Then I've got about um, 8 to 10 days dedicated to traveling through multiple states out west in these remote areas, collecting soil DNA or eDNA. And then as I come back, I've got another meeting with another family or so regarding cold cases. You need to have all your equipment in the same place. That's true, but some of this, like right now, part of the lab where we're at, some of the people are not there, and some of this equipment is hard to ship, and they're not, and they're waiting on some of the stuff to come in. It's specialized equipment, but yes, I try to keep as much in one place. But when we're dealing with something that hasn't been done before, and this lab specifically uses certain types of DNA filters and equipment to collect DNA that works with their whatever type of um, equipment they're using, that works well with, and so they get to call those shots, and I can't get it on Amazon. And if I can't get it on Amazon, and when you contact some of these bio lab suppliers, they don't ship to private residences, and so some of the stuff has to come through specialized handlers and things. And unfortunately, this is one of those things, and that is going to be part of it. So it's just one of those things. Yeah, it would be nice, but to have everything at one place, and we will eventually. Southern Gal True Crime, $10. Coffee and waffle funds. Thank you. Appreciate it, Southern Gal. Yes. And like I said, I can't fly with everything that we have. Um, and it's just, unfortunately, like I said, right now we've got, I have to keep stuff in multiple places, and from Florida to Georgia. And then, like I said, we have specialized equipment for this specific thing that we're still waiting on. Um, and so, even though we've been planning for several months, some of the stuff isn't as, you think that you'll be able to go on and order it, and then you just run into a wall, and eventually you find out that wall is unsurmountable, and so you have to just go a new direction. And that's happened more than once. Hello, Blackwater. Good to see you. Barbara says, "You like your goodies, don't you, Mr. Steve? Your foundation is the best." Thank you. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. Lori Sutherland says, "How can I train dogs for the guy you're talking about?" He has a trainer. I don't know how many trainers he uses, but he has a new dog that is uh, being currently trained, and it's in a latter stages of its training. And so I don't know at what level people that train dogs know. I don't. The only dogs I ever trained were rabbit dogs and bird dogs, but and they're they have their instincts they go off of, and whereas looking specifically for cadaver human is a specialized, and even tracking human is a specialized type of something I have no idea. Red Queen. Somehow I can't imagine the Boston smart ruckus using a honey bucket. And Farmer says you got a metal detector. Most folks get a penny or two in their pockets. Very Ferris, and mushrooms don't grow in the desert. Good observations. And Anna says, I have a cadaver dog. She finds something dead, she rolls on the carcass. They, and that's from speaking with this, with Mashburn, he was speaking about reading the dog and how they react and alert. I found that extremely amazing. Mrs. Steve, she's in right now. She's down there with the grandbabies in Florida, and I will stop by and see her as I go through. Wallflower says, "Did you say Iowa? I'm in Iowa. Yes, I'll be going up there. I'll be up in Waterloo and Evansdale and Seven Bridges." Where do you send the stuff to after you collect the soil? It'll be going. I'll be mailing it with following the protocols that they've set out, um, overnighting it to a lab. Frederica, good to see you. Just trying to see where we're at in the chat. Oh, I wish I'd brought my new phone. I have a great new phone. I'll probably take it on the trip with me as I'm on the road. I have a new bat phone. Um, Michelle, Mr. Steve, do you know is I guess LE keeping in touch, providing updates to Amber father regarding the status. I'm going to be speaking to Larry and just on the way back across the country. I'm going to go by and see him. Blackwater, I'll be your dog for treats. Mrs. Steve absolutely spoils her dogs. Junior says we've got a new missing girl here in Adrian, Michigan. Sorry to hear that. CJK, so you're driving, not flying out? Yes. Whenever I travel, there's just so much equipment I carry, even for the presentations when I work for Suitcase. when I'm doing something for the families, or some of the equipment. And it depends on whatever my mission is. And whenever I go on the road, it's more than just one case. With the foundation, I try to line up and almost like a milk run of traveling from one location to the next, so I can assist 2 or 3 or 4 families at one loop. I wish I'm not able to do it full time. I wish I was, and hopefully one day we will. Drunk Turkey Show. Hello, good to see you. Michelle says, everybody, don't forget to hit the like button. Absolutely. Thank you. There's Josh Posh, and here's Ruckus. Hey, Steve. Good to see you. It's almost 9 o'clock. Ruckus is awake. Miranda Lee says, True Crime Web, Barbara Hall, are you able to share any updates on Timmy's case? No, actually, I've got to go by and meet with Barbara, and that will be part of our discussion of our next steps of who we will be contacting and the direction that we choose to go. But right now, there's still some other things to be tested. And so we've got that to take care of. Lone Pony, good to see you. Squatcher 560. Squatcher 560. That's a great name. Looky. I said his name 3 times and Ruckus Rocks appears. I've learned that even in the vehicle with him, I often say his name 2 or 3 times, and I guess he answers back in some manner. Thank you, Copper Horse, for putting Ruckus's out there. Thank you. Oh, that's sad. Anna says there's no Waffle Houses here in the West that I know of. Hello, Redfoot. What's up, Mr. Steve? Just preparing. I've been packing all day and got a lot of stuff going on for the next 12 to 18, 20 days. We just depends on the weather. And that will be some things that, I have no control over. So if anything, it will be longer than shorter. I've prepared that if I get lucky, because whenever I'm on the road, I do drive for extended periods, and I'm trying to make up as much mileage as I can when the weather is nice enough. Southern Gal says, True Crime Web, I actually came across an article last night about 15 weird crimes that occur at Waffle House, and I thought about you. I'm sure your stories are much better. I have some interesting Waffle House encounters. Farmer says, have no idea what kind of cars Steve has. I leave a small amount of room for creative interpretation. Whenever I go out and get a rental vehicle, I have a preferred vehicle. It's a Pacifica. The seats go down the floorboard. Ruckus calls it a bread truck, and which it just about is. But I can fill it up absolutely, whereas you can just barely see out the back window. That's how much equipment at times I carry. CJK says, if you're driving through South Central Kansas, let me know if you're close by. I'll feed you dinner. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll have to check. I know I'll be going some part of the that country out there. I just don't know if it's Kansas or not. So the shovel may or may not be for Ruckus to lean on. No, it's not for it. I hope I don't have to use it with Ruckus. We all miss our grandparents. Absolutely. I had a friend of mine I worked with that got farmer says that he has a acute Lyme. I had a friend of mine that had that. Talking about having things you don't need, I have hairspray. For your eyebrows? What? I guess he's going to put big swirls on his eyebrows and fix it with his hairspray. Ishi says, can you even see out of the window? Steve drives so fast that the telephone poles look like a picket fence. I'm in a Pacifica. How fast can a Pacifica go? Um, you know, um, like I said, he just thinks I drive fast because while he's looking out the window, he may see mile marker 5. And in his world of napping, when he wakes up 20 minutes later and he thinks that it's the next mile marker, supposed to be mile marker 6, and it's 25, he doesn't know that he's been asleep for 20 minutes. Yes, Sharon. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I have to pack a lot of stuff versus flying. Peggy says, I often wonder how I may have been at a Waffle House at the same time you were. My fiance drove a truck for years and we ate at Waffle Houses often. If you were ever out at a Waffle House at night, I was at a Waffle House at night sometime. Guarantee it. Oh, me. And just trying to go through chat here, see if there's any questions. Appreciate all the support we've had tonight and everything that's going on, guys. It means a lot to us. Absolutely. Thank you, Marion. Barbara says, justice is on the way, I believe. Thank you, everyone. Absolutely. She's extremely um, hard worker, and she's done a lot. Mr. Steve, you're on the road a lot, over the years a lot. How often do you have to apply EMS type on scene stuff, car accident, shooting, car accidents, or any of that? Not as much as I did when I was active, but typically, um, I've only been doing this as far as the road stuff for a year and a half, too. And all the accidents so far I've come across, they're already EMS and law enforcement on the scene so far. But I do have a first aid kit that I carry that's in my carry bag. I see monsters. I'm late, but want to wish you safe travels, Steve. Thank you. Appreciate that. Anna says Midwest has worse weather right now than we have in the West. We don't have tornadoes. I don't want to have it. I've been through tornadoes and made recoveries from tornadoes. There's nothing friendly about a tornado of what it does when it comes across a human. Christian behind the crime door. Good to see you. Molly says Ruckus is the guy in the Cadillac taking up 1.5 lanes and going 20 miles an hour. Oh, man. Hairspray is why there's a hole in the ozone layer. Well, I will take up for Ruckus. His use of hairspray has not affected the ozone layer one bit. I'll pay for that. Ruckus is taking notes. I guarantee you, he'll not let me live down one of these cheap shots I've had at him. Thanks, guys. Farmer, $5 super sticker. Thank you. Appreciate your support. Christian behind crime doors, $9.99 says for our national treasures next road trip. Much love and respect. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, hopefully we'll get together out in California. I believe that's going to be the case. Who does most of the driving? I do. Like I said, I have to drive because I'd be watching him if he ever drove because I don't know if he's ever been up for more than 15 miles at a time. All right. Let's see here. I want to go through all my Karen, 16 months. Thank you. Sensei gifted a True Crime membership. Thank you. Missy Scott, $5. Josh DePosh, 19 months. And Josh DePosh gifted 5 True Crime Web. Mustang 65, $5 super sticker. Let me see if I can get this thing working. Southern Gal, $10 coffee fun. Farmer, $5 super sticker. And Christian behind the crime door, $9.99. Thank you. All righty, guys. Let me get back to the live, see what's going on. This thing here is acting up. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. I'm about to head and go see if I can't get a couple hours sleep before I start heading south, picking up everything. And hopefully I'll be back on the road in just a day or two and get up north. But we appreciate all y'all's support. And I will have my mobile studio with me. And hopefully I'll be able to put some stuff out while I'm on the road, and we'll have some few talks. But anyway, guys, y'all stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.